How many trading groups have you joined? How many are you still a part of? Well, I got reintroduced to trading in 2022, and I have since then, so to date, September 2025, have joined a total of 9. While I think that's pretty high, I'm curious to know if there's any that are higher. And so if you can drop in the comments how many great groups you've been a part of, I'd love to see, because I would love to see kind of where my number falls in relation to other people's. But I do feel like it's a lot in a 3-year span, just because I really feel like I was searching for something and I wasn't finding it. And I was just really waiting for something that really just, it was just like the aha, light bulbs going off. This is it. This is, what I've been looking for this entire time. This is just checking all the boxes. And while I was in some really great groups, I also felt like they weren't fully giving me what it was that I needed. And that's not to take away from the groups themselves. It's not to take away from the group leader or the value that they added or anything of that sort. It really just was an individual journey in what I needed and what I was looking for. And the trading groups just really weren't able to give me that. And I wanted to share today kind of why some of those things didn't align. And, there may be some things that resonate with you too. And maybe you are in a place of trying to find a group that really fits where you are and what you need and your trader personality. And maybe you can lean on my experience a little bit and be inspired in, maybe just taking a pause, because currently I am in not a single Discord community group, Patreon, etc. I'm not suggesting that I never will join, but for right now, I just really had to evaluate and assess where I was at and what it was that I needed. And the groups just weren't really giving me that. It was really hindering me more than it was helping me. So some of the things that being in the groups really produced for me was a dependence on or reliance on either the group leader or group members to either validate, confirm, or just really solidify what it was that I was seeing, thought I was seeing, or maybe to second guess what it was that I was seeing. I was really looking to see if other people saw what I saw. Or if they didn't see what I saw, then maybe there was something wrong with what I saw. If some of the input in the group was contradictory to what it was that I thought I was seeing, then I just wouldn't execute, right? So then it would bring into question, like, do I know what I'm doing? Am I seeing what I'm supposed to be seeing? Am I looking at this wrong? So it just breeded a lot of like doubt, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of questions. And then I was just looking to them to really give me what I should have been really giving myself. So that's one reason why it just wasn't really serving me and why I had to just reevaluate and, just kind of take a pause. Another thing that it was causing for me was really just a distraction. It was a lot of noise. And again, just really had me questioning myself. And it was just really hard to like keep up with because I didn't want to miss anything, right? So then I want to be in the chat and see what are people talking about, because I don't want to miss a call out. I don't want to miss, bringing some attention to something that I may not have been looking at. And it just really made me scattered. Like, frankly, it was distracting. I felt scatterbrained, and it was overwhelming, and it made me anxious. And again, all of that impacted my ability to perform as a trader. So it wasn't serving me. And I just had to come to that realization. As much as I really wanted to be a part of that community or communities, as much as I really wanted that to really take hold for me, it wasn't. And I had to be honest with myself about where I was and what I needed. And they were just not able to give that to me. Also, when you're in those groups, it's really hard not to get caught up in comparison. And that's whether you're comparing your own journey, your own experience, your own success, your own strategy. Like, you really start to compare, to question, to doubt. Like, all these things just kind of start to breed that ground. Now, there may be some people who are at a place in their trading journey where they're not impacted by all that. And that's wonderful. And I really commend you for that. But if you're in a space where if there are any questions that are surfacing for you, any doubt that is creeping up, any comparison, any strategy flopping, flipping, and jumping, like, you may want to consider just kind of taking a step back and really evaluating and figuring out whether or not this is serving you in the best way. And so if there are groups that you're a part of that aren't really giving you things that are going to serve you in the best way and set you up for the most trading success, then I would probably, rethink some things. So as I mentioned with the comparison, when we're talking about strategy hopping, my God, is a big thing. And I am guilty of it over the course of my trading career. And it's another thing that just really breeds like confusion. And you don't really know if you don't commit to something long enough, you're not really going to know if it's something that really works for you. Also, there may be certain strategies that will work for a certain personality type that really won't work for others. But you see success with the strategy for somebody else, and then you start to apply it for yourself, and it doesn't really complement you or your life or your personality or anything. And so then you feel like there's something wrong with you, but really there are certain things that are just not going to be really complementary for where you are and what you need. But again, we start to just like hop around and kind of dabble, or we're like, oh, this person's having great success with this, let me try it out. And then it doesn't work for you. Then, you start to get discouraged but again, also that one may not be a strategy for you, but also two, did we really commit to giving it all we could to really discover, is this going to be for me? Or did we have a few failed trades and we're just like, man, screw this strategy, it doesn't work or whatever. And then we hop around to whatever the next shiny object is. It's really hard to lock in and hone in on something and really establish that and really perfect that, because we're just all over the place all the time. Another thing that was showing up for me was the codependence on the community and the community members, but also I wasn't really doing a lot of the research for myself, right? So I wasn't really going into the market with a knowledge of what happened in the pre-market, or, what news is coming out today, or what earnings reports. And so it really caused for me, or led me to have to do that on my own, because I couldn't rely on the community group leader to give a market analysis each morning to say, hey, this is what's going on today. This is what we're looking at. This is what news dropped. This is what earnings. I had to do all of that on my own. So it made me a more independent trader and less reliant on other people to do that work for me, but to go in and just have a better knowledge and a better understanding of the market, of, things that are moving the market, and without depending on somebody else to do that for me. Now, in all of this, I don't want to suggest that there's something wrong with trading groups. I think that trading groups are incredible. I think that they can serve and bring a lot of value for people. I think that they are, I don't want to say necessary, but very beneficial and very helpful for some people on their trading journey. But for me, like I said, I just had to evaluate what was working and what was not working. And trading groups for me, just in the season of my life and where I was and am in my trading journey, they just weren't really aligning and they weren't really supporting. And so I just really want to challenge you to really consider the things that are going to support you on your training journey in the best way. If a community group fits that criteria, then by all means, find one that feels like home, find one that feels like family, find one that feels just safe, that feels comfortable, that feels like it checks those boxes, it fills your cup, whatever that is. Really lean into that and establish what that is for you. If having a small, just a group chat, a text thread can serve that purpose, or whatever it is, whatever that looks like. I just really want to encourage everybody to find what works for them as their individual trader identity and really lean into that, and don't be distracted by everything else that's going on around you, because it's so easy to get caught up in all these different shiny objects and squirrel moments. It's so easy to do that. So really important to lean into, hone in, and be unapologetic about where you are, what you need, and who you are as a trader. You got this. I got this. We got this. Let's go.